Why are the playoffs better at Boston Pizza? Because we've optimized our sports bar experience by studying in-depth analytics, starting with our new BP winged ribs, currently leading all apps in wings above replacement, and deep-fried pickle wedges, an early favorite for the unanimous #1 overall pickle. And, of course, the advanced stats darling and leader in pints per game, the new Beer Mosa. Catch the playoffs at Boston Pizza, powered by Fanalytics.
You're listening to Oilersnation Radio, presented by the Nation Network. Subscribe for free on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
It was actually fine.
I know it's not quiet on the recording, but I want to hear it.
It was very quiet. I could not hear it.
Yeah, it's quiet in the room, Tyler. What are we going to do about that?
I feel like it actually didn't need to be addressed, but
I know, but that's like, you're in a mood today where I feel like I want to address everything.
We could turn up the speakers.
Yeah, I'd like to.
It's like if the pregame video was turned all the way down.
Yeah.
For Oiler fans.
It might have been good on TV, you know?
We're not hyped up anymore.
I want to hear Burn It to the Ground real loud.
They actually really let it ride out on Game 4.
Did they?
On the TV. Oh,
there you go. Now we get to hear ourselves.
Now we get to hear ourselves in stereo.
I like this. To my right now, Tyler Yaremchuk is live producing. Let's give it a little test. Let's give it a little taste test here, boys.
Better.
Louder.
Markedly better.
All right.
That'll hit a spot.
I feel like we're right in the
We have some outdoor noise also.
It's so hot in this GD room that we need to keep the
tarps off,
open.
boys.
Might.
Tyler's been in this room for the last 3 hours?
The days, like today's not even that bad, but like yesterday when it was like live show with 3 other people and Bellsy was in here too.
Yeah.
Then real life where we had 5 people in here. Then I'd do BJN like back to back to back. I was like, okay, I've been in this room for 4 hours and it's like 38 degrees.
For the record, I do believe the romper looks pretty light.
Yep.
I think you
airy.
You could probably rock that in here. Just be
only when it's a true must win.
No need for the romper tonight, folks.
Well, is that a new rule then? Because it was brought out in Nashville.
Yeah. Well, also nation vacations.
Okay. All right. I got you.
All right.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
We're setting the rules here. Should we get started on the podcast, Tyler?
Yeah, let's do it.
We got to get started with an hour now. We're only a couple minutes in, you know. Brought to you by our friends at Oodle Noodle. 18 locations and counting. Go get a free sticker at any of the Edmonton locations. I was told that we should be stocked up. So if that is not the case, let us know. We'll make sure that there's a bunch of fresh stickers in there for you. Pop in, get some spring rolls, maybe a salad roll. It's a little hot today.
Deep fried wontons.
Thai chicken salad. Deep fried wontons are legit.
Yeah, they are really good.
And then ask for a free sticker.
It's true.
I'll go that tonight.
Are you?
Maybe. That did just tempt me a little bit. I'm home alone. I got to get some food. What am I going to do? I can't cook. I'm a 27.
Are you going to set up booby traps just in case anybody invades your property?
Yeah, I do. I do have stairs in my house, so I could. Is it the iron he has on the swing?
There's the paint cans. You could make sure to haul a tool chest up the stairs as well, just in case.
Jack Eichel won't be breaking into my house tonight. He should be busy in Vegas anyway. So.
All right.
Hey,
Tyler, what do you got for a delicious debate for our friends at Oodle Noodle?
Did the NHL Department of Player Safety get it right?
Well, this is going to be the shortest debate of all time.
Yeah.
No. Next.
No.
They got Darnell nurses right.
No, they didn't.
They did not.
Let's go. What are you talking about?
I'll get into the Darnell thing more further, but they got the Leon Draisaitl / wrong.
Very wrong. Like, I mean, this is called a debate. I don't think this is much of a debate, though.
They got them both wrong.
They did.
My thing is, and it's on Darnell to know that you don't go out and instigate a fight in that situation.
He didn't.
He did.
No, he didn't.
He went down low.
He was
when the guy that was engaged with another guy. I understand.
Fight.
I understand that Haig asked him beforehand, and credit Mark Stone for coming out and saying that. But I just think that Haig was engaged with another person, and Darnell came down and wanted it. And he got it.
But Haig wanted it.
Well, allegedly.
Not allegedly.
At that moment, Haig was going after who? Who was
on the broadcast right before? They showed like a 4-minute montage of Nurse and Haig beefing.
They were going to fight at the draw.
Yeah,
and then if they fight at the draw, everybody sits there and goes, "Oh, it's one of those setup fights. This is the worst thing in the NHL. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!"
Of course they do. But this is my issue is the instigator rule.
We've seen so many times. Okay, that's fine. Like there's an issue with that rule.
Yep.
But we've seen probably if I had any type of video skills at all, I could have sat there yesterday and made a huge montage of one-on-ones and a third guy jumps in that instigates the fight and nothing comes of it.
Yep.
The thing that's stupid to me is, okay, if you're going to suspend Darnell Nurse because that is the letter of the law, which again, Tyler,
we're not
Tyler's
getting
fired
that
up.
part yet?
We're not getting fired up yet.
We're not getting to that other part yet, though?
Well, we will. Hang on.
Okay.
If that's the call, okay. But then what Alex Pietrangelo did is so significantly worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is so dangerous and dumb. How are they getting the same penalty?
That's where the major issue comes in, is the message to the league is now,
From the league
is, according to our rules, you can do exactly what Pietrangelo did, and that is equated to picking a fight with somebody in the last 5 minutes.
The worst part about it is, it's always been a rumor, and Dallas Eakins came out and said it yesterday or whatever day it was. It's because he didn't get hurt.
Which is not.
So go ahead and shoot all you want. Go ahead and shoot at the guy, but if you don't hit him, you're good.
But then that comes to the argument too with the instigator rule, is that Haig didn't get dummied by Nurse. It wasn't like the instigator came in to
threw the first punch?
to stop guys from getting jumped from behind by an actual fighter when they couldn't fight back and they weren't ready to fight back. That wasn't an instigator, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Of the situation of what an instigator is supposed to be. But again, when that rule exists, you just can't do that if you're Darnell. And that's my
This
issue
is
there.
not on him at all, because the league got, you know what the league's going to call and not call. And the league does not call this. They just don't.
From Sportsnet Stats.
Thank you.
During the regular season, there were 2 instigator penalties in the final 5 minutes of the third period. Neither of them resulted in a suspension.
Yep. So, and again, all we hear is, well, in a suspension in the playoffs is worth more than a suspension in the regular season. So, but you just punished Darnell worse than you've ever punished anyone in the regular season for the same thing.
Yeah. And
how does that make sense?
Arguably, objectively, the Darnell Nurse suspension is worse than the Pietrangelo suspension because Woody also got fined $10,000.
Yeah, so we take the heavier penalty
for a consensual fight between 2 able-bodied combatants.
I just, even as the guy that runs hockeyfights.com, I just don't see the reason for a fight there myself from Darnell.
I don't think, but like my counter would be, I don't think there would have been a fight.
But if you don't take care of it there, it can leak into the next game.
Him wrapping up a guy?
You can wrap him up. That's fine.
That's my thing is like, if the shoe was on the other hand or on the other foot and it's Pietrangelo that's in that situation, then yeah, okay. He goes in and picks a fight on the guy. But
here's the reason why I'm okay with the fight. And it's actually funny that me and you are on this side of the debate, because I'm always the guy saying, no, there's no reason to fight there. And you usually love it. Yeah. They beef for how many games?
All of them.
When Nurse and Haig go off 5 each for fighting, who wins that trade? Vegas? So if you're Darnell Nurse and you hate this guy and you're pissed off and you want to tell him to stop screwing around with you, do it in a 5-1 game when there's barely any time left, because then who gives a shit?
That's fair.
I'll go hit the showers early. Yamo's in there. We'll get all soaped up, chat about it in the locker room.
What's going on here?
I don't know. Right, but
delicious debate. Who's your favorite shower buddy? What are you doing in there?
I hear what you're saying in the sense that like it's a nothing game, but for the fact that like you just saw Leon take that slash. Leon on the bench saying, "Don't do anything. You guys don't do anything." And then we go out and we do something.
But it's not like he went out there and did something to somebody. No, he went out there and just completed the second half and a half of this handshake.
To me, Darnell Nurse went up there and beat up a guy who asked him to get beat up.
And the first punch is coming from, the gloves were shed. Yep. It was equal.
I don't understand how that's an instigator at all.
And you know what the worst part about, and I keep probably
so if you fight 501, it's not an instigator. 459, it is. It's ridiculous.
I just don't think, I think that situation is, if Nurse is in that scrum, it's not an instigator, but the fact that Nurse came from north down to south, had to come all the way.
And he just glides.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think another layer
gets down there.
Another layer to this too is I'm kind of with Dan in the sense of like, this didn't need to happen from Nurse. I don't really care that it did happen, but now looking, what's it called? Hindsight or whatever.
Yeah, hindsight. It's 20.
It's kind of annoying, especially the game before when Nurse tried to fight Haig and Haig just said no.
Yeah.
So why couldn't Darnell Nurse just do that too? Now we're down him in this game. Obviously, in that moment, he's not thinking, "Boy, I hope I don't get an instigator."
Because the league doesn't call this. He's not worried about that.
That's fair.
I agree.
But
so
again,
there's 100% on the league, and then they come out and do this. And do you think anybody with a suit and tie comes out and stands in front of the camera and takes questions? No, they're cowards.
Do you think the Edmonton Oilers are just fine if Pietrangelo is out for Game 5 and Darnell Nurse doesn't have that fight though? Like, I think the message is sent just the same by beating them 4-1 and demoralizing them, and then watching Pietrangelo act like a little child and have the Oilers skate off and be done with it and fucking beat them the next game.
But if Nurse doesn't take that fight, Haig's out there trying to take on somebody else. And then he can hurt somebody else. Instead, he gets in there and says, I'm a willing guy. Fine, let's deal with this. Stop picking on the rest of these guys. Let's go one-on-one. We'll take care of it right now. Yeah. Perfect. That's the way it's supposed to be done. Handshake, get it on. And then the league comes in here and the ref comes in here and wants his name to be put on the scoreboard. Says, you know what? No, here it is. It's instigated. It doesn't get called ever. And
George Parros' terrible decision, essentially, to me, signifies that Darnell Nurse getting in a fight with a guy who is ready to go is the same thing as lumberjacking someone, taking your stick over your head and trying to hurt him.
But it's also saying that if you hit him on the hands instead of the head, there is a difference too.
George, it's a cowardly call.
It is.
If you had chopped off his fingertip, we might be talking about a different conversation here.
And take some questions and explain it. Show that you are.
Alex Pietrangelo's never been suspended before. Who gives a fuck?
And that's, that's a great point. Is BX was said last night. Is like, what was his defense?
There is none.
What does he say? So they sit there and go, okay, what's your defense? I don't have any. All right, one game.
His defense was likely, they hit me hard for 2 games prior to that. And then I got mad about it.
In a contact sport, I'm getting hit hard.
That was the argument. I think the other funny thing to this is how the NHL, it matters if you get injured or not. And like Cale McCaskill only got 1 game for his hit on Jared McCann as well, who just returned to their series against
Eberle broke someone's back or neck.
Broke someone's neck and he didn't get nothing.
Yeah. Nothing. It just doesn't make any sense.
There's no consistency. And
it has to be like
from them to be consistent.
There has to be some kind of committee or something with the NHL Department of Player Safety, because having one guy pull fucking rabbits out of a hat or numbers out, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that South Park episode when the manatees are writing Family Guy episodes where it just drops a ball in a thing. That's what the Department of Player Safety has no concern for player safety.
They don't care
whatsoever.
They don't care.
Tinfoil hat. They want the series extended.
Different tinfoil hat that I shared on Owen every day. Before the slash, they showed a montage of Pietrangelo getting hit, and it ended with a shot of him on the bench holding his wrist with his glove off. Was Pietrangelo sitting on the bench going, I'm hurt. I know I'm not
Does he actually say that? Can you read his lips?
No. This is Tyler.
It's just my
Tyler.
While he's sitting there in his own head, he's sitting there holding his wrist and he's going, ooh, I don't think I'm going to be able to play next game. Right. And he just went out and did what he could to try even it up.
There's nothing about that was a hockey play. Like it or not, the instigator, Darnell Nurse fighting Nick Hague, that's a thing that happens in hockey.
So the precedent here, let's say the Panthers and Canes meet in the Eastern Conference Final, and some dude on the third pairing, I did this all on Owen every day, but Chatfield on the Canes, third pairing guy. Game 1, Matt Tkachuk off the face-off with 3 minutes left, just two-hands him right in the arm. What's the downside if you're Chatfield?
Zero.
You might have to miss a game, but you can take it.
I was going to say dress Niemelainen and have him going out there clubbing people. You've got no history of suspensions.
Well, try not to hit him on the head.
Just don't hit him on the head.
It's not even a financial penalty anymore
because it's playoffs.
That's right.
So because you're not getting paid to play.
So what's the downside? What's the deterrent for Alex Pietrangelo from going out and fucking around? And this completely fumble fucked by the NHL.
Just do it late, and who cares about the 5-minute major, right?
That's fine.
That's the other thing too. Usually, if these things, if this Pietrangelo thing would have happened 2 minutes into the game, 5-minute major, you get the benefit of that 5-minute major, and Pietrangelo then misses basically a game there. Yeah. Then I would have been okay, 1 game's fine because you can do the mental gymnastics of well, it's kind of like 2 games, and in the regular season it would have been a 3 or 4 game suspensions. This is good. They're basically saying if Petro did this in December, that it's only 2 games. What?
Yeah, it's nonsense. But again, it's like Rick said, we saw somebody literally have their neck broken with a dirty hit from behind, and it didn't merit a suspension.
Did anybody sit here and try and compare this to Bunting? Because Bunting got 3 games?
3.
You got 3.
Did he skate halfway across the ice with his stick over his head?
No.
That's the thing too.
He was a reactionary one, wasn't he?
Wasn't there just a slash that was penalized in the Devils Carolina series as well for like a reactionary kind of whip back and slash the guy for one game?
I didn't see that. I saw Pinder yesterday tweeted out, I think it was Minnesota versus Calgary, when Ryan Hartman came in and just slashed somebody right across the wrist in a scrum, and it resulted in a fine. That was before Pietrangelo's suspension, but it's the only one I can think of as an example. But the Pietrangelo one, you're right. Like, he was on the other side of the ice when Leon Draisaitl was coming down the wing, came over, lifted his stick to 12 o'clock at the face-off dot and came down on him outside of the dot. It's just a wild situation. It shouldn't even be a debate, to be honest. Like, the NHL is an absolute shit show.
This is where it really shows me, like, in this room, I can see us all being, relatively on the same side here. Go outside this room, go on Twitter, go watch
Everybody's on the same page.
Everybody's saying the same thing.
It's ridiculous.
Except Dallas Aikens.
Well,
yeah, except Dallas Aikens. So
they're not hiring. But they're not hiring. Hey, Dallas, they're not hiring.
That was so fucking funny. BX just called him right out.
What happened?
So basically, Aikens went on and was like, I think the NHL got this right because these two plays aren't connected. There's nothing tying them together. They followed the book on each. And BX basically cut him off and was like, they're not hiring right now.
Suck it, Dallas.
Why is Aikens? Whatever.
You got to specify on which Dallas right now, by the way.
Not Dallas Stars. Go Dallas Stars, go.
No.
Screw Dallas Eakins.
Why are you on the Stars bandwagon? Just because of that thing?
Oh, 1,000,000%. It's too good not to be true.
Okay. So if you don't know what the thing is, essentially the Oilers and Stars are mirroring each other in terms of record.
In crazy ways. Like, Joe Pavelski scored 4 goals in game 1 and so did Draisaitl, and they both lost. Wild. That's crazy.
That's the one crazy way. It's just been every win and loss after that. But you're right. The story is being written actively. And then the two teams meet each other, and then what the hell can happen?
Yeah, who knows?
I want to hear from you if you're listening to this. I imagine you're probably on the same side as all of us. The suspensions don't make sense. If you're going to give Daryl 1 game because you're following the letter of the law, then how Pietrangelo also got 1 game doesn't make a lick of fucking sense.
Yes.
Welcome to the NHL.
0. And that's another thing. And I think it was Stauffer that tweeted it. Nobody is surprised.
No.
Yeah.
Tyler has our predictions yesterday to me, and Sean Bellsy and I both said 1 game each because the NHL just continues to get in its own way.
It's a terribly run league. It is a trash league. I love it. I love to watch it, but it is a trash league. Anyway, hit us up, Owen Radio Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Let us know, or just hit us up. Add us all, as they say. You're going to use up a lot of your characters, but just add us all anyway.
I'd love to see Ron McLean get that sit down with Bettman in the playoffs and bring that up.
Oh, but he'll just say the officials are doing a great job.
And the game start on time.
Ron is
start on time.
Pro referee anyways to hold.
Yeah, he's very.
Yeah. He is a ref. I wonder what did he say about this?
He has nothing to say. He keeps himself quiet when it's going against the referees.
Presented by the fine folks at Boston Pizza Fanalytics. Let's dive into a little bit more Game 4 that wasn't the shenanigans from the end of the game. Great game by the Edmonton Oilers. Outshot to the Golden Knights 33-26. 1 for 7 on the power play, though that number is a little misleading given when some of the penalties were handed out. PK was a perfect 4 for 4 from the Oilers side. Any other numbers that stuck out to you guys outside of, obviously, my boy Ryan Nugent-Hopkins getting on the board for the first time in the playoffs? You could almost see the weight lift off his back as it went in. Building went crazy too, by the way.
For me, the big number is the number 13. That is the amount of shots the Oilers gave up at 5-on-5 compared to 27, 23, and 27 in the first 3 games. It was their best 5-on-5 game of the series. They outscored the Golden Knights 3-1. Bang, bang. That right there, that's your recipe for success tonight, right?
And your stat line right next to the name Stuart Skinner.
He was good, but like they played great in front of him too, right? Like he had to make some big stops. That partial break on Stone in front, the power play save on Eichel in the first period when, like, again, could have given Vegas all the momentum right there. The Stone stop could have put Vegas right back in the game. Stu was great. They were great in front of him. It was just like a total team collective
going
effort.
Into that game, there were some people out there that want to jack in that. There are some people out there saying, Stu hasn't brought enough, blah, blah, whatever it is. I think Stu brought everything you need that game.
Another Fanalytics number for you boys ahead of Game 4. The Oilers had only had 4 goal scorers in the series up until the last game. And then they got some fresh ones. Nick Bukestad scored a big goal to open the scoring. Matthias Ekholm pulled up the wedge.
Whoa. That's a bomb.
Top corner bomb. Love to see it. And then, as I mentioned, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins got on the board. Connor was probably happier for Nuge than Nuge was to score.
Yes, definitely. I think everyone was just happy for Mr. Nugent-Hopkins.
Any other numbers that stick out to you guys?
Speaking of Nuge, though, he's got to keep the foot on the gas. So he can't just say he needs to get out there and he needs to get another one tonight.
Because
that's when you can feel better. Right
I
now,
hope that, well, we'll get to that in the betting segment. I'm rolling over a little bit of wins here. I hope so too, in the sense that goal that went in, it was a classic Nuge goal, a low snapshot over the blocker, exactly where he fills the net from. And I hope it just kind of like doesn't have to grip the stick. Because earlier in the period, I was at the game with Jay, and there was a point when Nuge came in and probably had a good chance to zip it from the high slot.
Dish to his right.
And tried to dish it off instead, where if, that was say March, February, he's firing that every time. So I hope this goal just kind of lifts the pressure off a little bit.
Me too. I don't know why I was so unprepared for that, but yes, Ryan.
I like his effort on that shift too. Like, you gotta feel it coming, right? He went in there, he's forechecking hard, created a turnover, was being pesky, and then just did that classic Nuge thing where he floats to the outside and finds a soft spot. McDavid finds him, boom.
The Vegas Golden Knights got on the board from Nicholas Roy early in the third period.
Think it's Wa. Is it Wa or Roy?
It doesn't matter.
Roy. Frenching it up.
That is very French.
Nicolas Roy.
You would know.
I do know. The guy I want to talk about, though, is Matthias Ekholm scored his first goal of the playoffs. Beauty, clapper, top corner. In game 4, Matthias Ekholm played 18:55. Now that we've got
Matthias Ekholm's going to play 28.
Daryl's out. What are we expecting from Big Viking Daddy?
Oh, a lot of hockey. He's going to be on the ice a lot, especially like if the Oilers were at home, you could like maybe pick your Vinny Broberg spots a little bit better. On the road, I mean, I would imagine anytime Vinny or Broberg start a shift, Bruce Cassidy's kicking Jack Eichel and Jonathan Marchessault on the behind saying, there you go.
Do you think they roll those 3 pairings that strict, or do you think they kind of rotate them through like their 12 or 11 and 7 forwards with it, just because of that exact thing?
Go with some Kulak Vinny, go with some
whatever, like whoever's you gotta face off in your own end, whichever lefty is has the most energy right now, maybe go with Vinny, or
that's, I didn't even think about that. I think that's probably the way to do it.
I was kind of thinking that too. I think we'll just see a shit ton of Kulak and Ekholm tonight. They're going to be kind of the rocks.
But you look at a guy like Ekholm, and I don't think I'm too worried about him playing those extra minutes, because I don't think he's not really out there wasting a lot of excess energy, right?
No.
His free roll has really dialed it back a little bit from what he was doing when he first got here, where he was tipping shots in front of the net somehow. And now he's playing a lot more structured, and he's going to be heavily relied upon tonight. But I think one thing to consider for this group is too, that they have literally been in this situation before last season when Nurse got suspended for headbutting Darnell. And we looked through the numbers before, and it was Cody Ceci who led the way with most minutes played by a defenseman with 23. I don't think we quite have that same Cody Ceci right now, though, but he's reliable enough to at least bump his minutes a little bit. And then it was Kulak and then Keith, and Bouchard was around, I think, 17 minutes. I think he'll play a little bit more. And then Philip Broberg was playing that night because they played 7 defensemen because the Cowboy was still around, and he played just under 4 minutes. So I got another sneaky suspicion his minutes might triple a little bit.
Well,
tonight.
if the forwards get out there and get some points on the board early,
I think that's a big key to the whole thing, is if the boys can get some goals on the board here, it's going to alleviate the pressure on what's going on in the back end. My guess was just that top 2 pairings, they're just going to see a lot of minutes.
Hear me out.
Go ahead.
I just looked. Matthias Ekholm twice in his career has played north of 40 minutes in a game.
That has to be with like a double overtime.
Yeah, they're playoff games between the Preds and Hawks, Preds and Sharks.
He's like, I'm in.
But he can do it.
Yeah, he can do it for sure.
I also feel like we're probably, as much as you might hate me for saying this, guys, we're probably due for overtime in this series.
How dare you?
This would not be a great game for it to happen for Edmonton.
I don't think
well, let me ask you a different question. Who's got the bigger loss having a defenseman come out? Is it Nurse or is it Pietrangelo?
Oh, it's a tough question, because no question Petro's the better D-man. But is their decor maybe built better to sustain this?
Yes, except for the fact that the Oilers have been mushing them all into a fine paste this whole series.
They need to keep doing that.
I think I think that there's no, I don't think that there's any defenseman that you're going to look at with Vegas and be like, oh yeah, that guy's going to eat up 10 of those minutes comfortably.
Like Theodore could take a little more, but he hasn't been great in this series.
I just think that all those guys, any guy you name is going to be banged up a little bit already. That's except for Hutton, who hasn't played since the Winnipeg series.
I think the Oilers will benefit from this. Does Pietrangelo play on the first unit power play? Or is that Theodore?
I think it's Theodore.
Okay, so they're not really losing anything there. But I think now the Oilers have gone from not having the best defenseman in the playoffs to having the best defenseman in the playoffs.
If you scroll a little, it might be
You're literally
no,
you're on DFL.
No, but it's Pietrangelo's out, so they changed.
Oh, they changed. I see.
Come on,
Okay.
I'm not that silly.
Scroll down though a little further though, and let's see who's on the second. So
Ben
Hutton's on
Hutton.
the second one, which would tell me that he's probably taking Petrangelo's spot.
Yeah.
Or he got bumped.
Oh,
and
they
he
bumped
comes in.
it.
Oh God.
We truly will never know.
Truly.
There is no way to find this out.
Zero.
So what do you think, Tyler? Who's got the... You said it's a tough
On
one.
Owen every day, I think I said it was a bigger loss for the Oilers, but I think I'll walk that back. I think I'm going to say it's a bigger loss for the Golden Knights just because, the Oilers can and have stopped Eichel and Marchessault and them in this series without Nurse on the ice, right? Like Ekholm can stop those guys.
Yes.
If you decide to start rolling one of Leon Draisaitl or Connor McDavid on the ice, and there's not going to be a Theodore or Pietrangelo for one of them, right? Like McDavid and Draisaitl split up with both Pietrangelo and Theodore. Okay, one of them's always got a good skating D-man on the ice. Now one of them doesn't all of a sudden, and you got a tough choice to make if you're Bruce Cassidy. So I'll say it's a bigger loss for Vegas.
Dan, what do you think?
I'm saying Vegas has got the bigger loss. I laid it out with the being ground into a fine paste already. And I just think that's going to be harder for a team. And I would love to see us go to overtime against Vegas.
And their replacement defenseman hasn't played this series, and ours has.
Yep.
Well, did you not see him trying to psych out Big Stu? Oh no, you were at the game.
During warm-ups?
Yeah.
So during warm-up, Stuart Skinner does that thing where he literally just stares into eternity.
Mm-hmm.
And what's his name again?
Hutton.
Sorry, it's just been so irrelevant. Ben Hutton was stood on the blue line just trying to talk to Skinner, and Skinner was dialed in.
You know who else that didn't work out for is Phoenix Copley, who's golfing right now. So
Is he a
keep
golfer?
trying. Yeah. He said thank you LA
Sounds like
on
a golfer
Twitter.
name.
He said thank you LA on Twitter yesterday, and then he followed it up with I can't wait to come back next year because
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
it sounded like he was leaving LA.
Pietrangelo played 2 minutes and 9 seconds on the power play last game. Shea Theodore, 5 minutes 51.
That's your
So
answer.
that's my answer. I was able to crack the code.
Wow.
We did it.
And now
We did
Hutton
it.
will play 2 minutes on the power play.
Also, something else that's funny is Darnell Nurse got more penalty minutes for his antics than what Pietrangelo did on the night too. Because he got the extra 2 for the instigator.
So bad.
Classic.
2-5-10.
Oh, another random stat from last game. Vinny Desharnais, almost 40 seconds on the power play for the big man.
Yep.
Well, tonight, maybe we'll need him.
Outside of game one, I think he's actually been pretty good.
Yeah,
He's been solid.
He's definitely come around. The team has absolutely supported him as well. The team
But he's
coming back on
some
defense.
of his mistakes have kind of just been they've been on him, just moving the puck in the wrong spot. And I think he's
simplified. When he's at his best, he's playing very, very simple.
The forwards are supporting the D too.
Don't overthink it.
I have another stat
Go ahead. Brought to you by the fine folks at Boston Pizza
in
Analytics.
the Fanalytics menu. Stuart Skinner. First penalty minutes last game, too. Absolute goon out there.
What did he get?
You got 2 minutes for tapping the puck outside the trapezoid. More than Aiden Hill. Tyler thinks he's a goon. So maybe
Now,
reconsider.
question, Tyler, because I got this came up
a bit.
on my socials yesterday. Has Pietrangelo made the rat list?
Yeah, no, the rat list for Vegas it exists now, which it definitely did not exist before.
Who we got on that
series.
rat list?
Well, number one is Mr. AHL Jordan Binnington himself, Aiden Hill. I mean, he's wannabe, he's wish.com Jordan Binnington. He's a fake tough guy. Like, it's hilarious to watch him throw the elbow into a Vander Kane. So make no mistake about it. He is 100% on the rat list. Will Carrier from his antics early. Liam and I agreed he's on the rat list. Brett Howden is on the rat list. William Karlsson, if he was playing in this series, would probably be on the rat list. Chandler Stevenson, 100%.
Yeah,
fraudulent all-star
Stevenson.
Chandler Stevenson, Rylas, Haig and White Cloud both on there. Braden McNabb's a big mean dude, but he's a big mean rat.
Keegan Kolsar?
We're stuck on Kolsar, we'll be honest. Because we respect his antics a little bit because he will drop him. I think to be part of the rat list, you're not going to drop a glove.
But he didn't drop them the other night when he was throwing punches with his gloves on.
That is true.
The other thing that pissed me off with the Hague fight Nurse is he did the thing, Dan, where the linesman came in and Hague was like, I can get one more shot in here. And he punched over the linesman, which, I mean, the hockey fight's code of honor. That's a no-no. And I think that's why Nurse was kind of laughing as hard as he was because it was like, oh, you thought you had to get a cheap one in on me.
Absolutely.
Didn't see that one tweeted out.
Well, no, of course not.
The body shots.
Also, can we talk about the fact that the NHL highlight packs removed the Draisaitl slash as well? The Pietrangelo slash on Draisaitl
wasn't an important part of the game, clearly.
No.
Weird. But the fight was in there. The fight pack and the replay was in there.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, wow.
Did they show Warren Fogel's people's elbow to Nicholas Hague's face too? That was amazing.
Gotta love a people's elbow every now and then.
He was just trying to get out of the way before the fight started.
You actually didn't see it?
I haven't seen it yet. You told me about it. I have
Okay, when just before they're about to fight, you'll see Hague's head almost fall off, and it's because Warren Fogel hit him with
wicked left,
a mighty one. That could have been it. That
might have been the instigator. Maybe that was the instigator.
Maybe that was it. You got the first punch in. What? Elbow?
Nurse is like, no, I didn't throw that, sir.
Classic.
Interesting. I'll have to check it out.
The game is in Vegas tonight for Game 5. I'm hoping some of you are down there. And I hope you used our friends at AMA Travel to get down there, book your flights, book your hotels. They just make life easy, If you're not going to watch hockey, well, you can save on some travel insurance. You can save on cruises. You can save on vacation packages. You can save on guided vacations. Maybe you just want to do a little staycation in Alberta like Tyler's going to be doing later in the summer. Do a little golfing. Our friends at AMA Travel will be happy to help.
Are you going to Drumheller yet? Or is that not on the menu?
I thought that was me and you.
You're right. We're going to the dinosaur this summer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Better than my last trip to Drumheller. But AMA Travel will make it better.
That's what they do, Liam.
Yeah.
Well,
that's exactly what they do.
Seems like a good time to pause for an ad, Liam.
I hope it was a Drumheller ad.
Brought to you by Tourism Drumheller.
Come see the Hoodoos.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were talking about the D pairings a little bit. What situations are you having Broberg and Vinny out there?
Neutral zone faceoffs, right? Like I think if you use them exclusively in O-zone draws, you're opening Vinny up to having to defend maybe off the rush, depending on who he's out there against, and you don't love that. Although an O-zone draw, maybe if you're getting a bottom 6 matchup isn't bad. Probably just a lot of neutral zone stuff, right? Let him just try to get the puck after a 1 faceoff, get it in deep, hold things for a bit, get off the ice. Like you got to be selective. You probably need each of these guys to be north of 10 minutes tonight, which Broberg hasn't done yet in these playoffs. But I think you just really got to pick your spot and take some calculated risks.
Yeah. Score effects, though. Get up by a couple, you can start rolling them.
That's a good point.
Dan?
That's the thing is the forwards just need to recognize that the defense needs some breaks this game. Go out and shoot the puck a bunch.
This team has been very good at killing off penalties when somebody important takes one that, like, okay, no, that was a legit penalty. We need to go out there and kill it for so-and-so, like Connor, Leon, whatever the hell it is.
Skinner delay game yesterday.
I think you're going to see this team come out and show and make a really good effort into playing a structured game to help Nurse get away from this.
Liam, what do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Rick. I think they'll come together a little bit tonight and band against those Knights. So I guess I think the hot start is kind of what it's got to be. I think they've got to get out to a comfortable lead and just let off the defense a little bit for them and just make life a little bit easier. But also when you're in the defensive zone, makes life easier on Stuart Skinner as well.
The Oilers have scored first in all 4 games so far in this series. I think a big key here is go and get it again, but make sure, unlike game 1 and 3, the very next shift, you're not giving it right back.
Yeah.
Like Liam said, play simple, make life easier for Stu. He's going to make the saves he can see.
Mm.
It's been so frustrating this year. We score a goal and it's almost like we need to call a timeout after we score a goal. All right, boys, calm down. Structured, get out there because we'll score a goal and 17 seconds later they come back and score one.
Yep.
It hurts.
All year long.
Yeah.
It's been terrible.
It hurts. But onward and upward, I believe. Ask the idiots, boys. Couple of questions here. few of them are about hockey in general. A few of them are about the NHL, I've got one about the NHL Department of Player Safety.
What?
I've got one about just classic hangover remedies during the playoffs. So, Liam, you are first up in front of me. How does the NHL fix the Department of Player Safety?
Something's leaking out there.
We have a broken bottle. It's Kennedy's face is showing that there is something in disarray. Hang on a second here.
That sounded like water spray.
I heard two bangs.
We've got something broken out here.
Somebody drop a can that bounced.
Oh yeah, we got a can. We got a can down in the kitchen.
It bounced
What
twice.
can of what?
It looks like a little sody.
Okay, not beer.
Could have been worse.
Twice, then cracked.
That was a faucet.
No
We got people coming out of the other office here checking things out.
It's all right. We're all good. We just had a sody down.
Sody down.
Not a Bud Light sody.
That's going to be a mess for someone to clean up out there.
Not us.
Nope.
We are in here working hard.
We have a clear alibi.
Yes.
100%.
If this camera worked, I could say, but I'm not so sure right now.
Is the camera on? Who knows? Who could say? Liam, how do we fix the NHL Department of Player Safety?
I think it's got to be a committee. I think it just can't be one person making the decision. There you go. I think that's pretty straightforward.
Dan?
You need to come up with some kind of a way for media to have access to you after a decision has been made, just so that we can, that the media can ask some questions that the fans would like to hear about said decisions.
Rick?
I think you guys have both kind of put two things together there. I just think they need to be more visible. I think they need to be held accountable, and a couple of questions I don't think hurts anything.
I'm also with Liam. It has to be a committee. It can't be one person making these calls because they're so just subjective.
And to be fair, we don't know how much, like, there could be 8 guys in a room right there talking. And then
I want to see the vote.
Is the last one to say.
I want to see the vote.
I guess if it is that, it shouldn't come down to one guy. If there is like a committee that talks, it should be like a vote and not just be Peros gets the final say.
It's like
we have 9 guys, all 9 people.
I'll get a little bit more weird with my answer.
Go ahead, Tyler.
You take one person who knows the game very well. And every day there's NHL hockey, you lock them in a room where they have no ability to watch games or highlights. When an incident happens, you show it to them, but in the form of just shadow people with no faces, numbers, or anything.
Maybe like like some kind of puppetry.
So they're getting the full on. They're getting the full on Frank treatment.
They do not know.
He's locked in a room, no phones, no nothing.
They don't know how much time is left in the game. If the player was injured, who hit who, what the score was, anything. They just see an incident between 2 faceless shadow people, and they make their decision off that.
I could see that working.
I don't see any holes in this theory.
No.
That's actually how I tried.
It's a good plan.
Could using shadow people solve, or they go Knights of the Round Table style.
Huzzah!
You bring 2 actors in and they reenact the play as shadow people.
I think there's a common theme in Tyler's answer. Really wants shadow people involved in the NHL.
Yep. Shadow people, possible puppetry, possible Knights of the Round Table. Tournament of Kings solves all issues.
Yep.
They don't do the videos like Shanahan used to, right?
They do and they don't. I think it just depends how
pick and choose.
How confident they are in the decision.
Yeah, the decision was a little bit later in the day. You know, he's tired.
Video guy went home already.
Yeah, it's wild. How
do it like the XFL with all their challenge plays. They got the camera right in the room there. The dude's talking to the officials. Everything is visible. You see it all. You see how many cameras they're looking at. Let me see what they're discussing, because I would really like to know.
Question number 2, Ask the Idiots. We are working through your questions. Just slide on in old Bag Milk's DMs and you say, I got a question for Ask the Idiots. I want to ask the boys. Tyler, I'm going to ask you, which former NHL player is the best TV analyst?
I mean, right now, you got to give a lot of love to BXL. Like, he's killing it, and he's so new, and he's good. And maybe that newness is why we love him, because he's unpolished and he hasn't been worn down by like, oh, this is what you're supposed to say kind of thing. But BX is just so honest and he's funny. His insights are good when he does his little breakdowns with the arrows and all that stuff. It's BX and I don't even know who else is in the conversation.
Well, I think BX is really entertaining. But I think if you go just for like structure and the old school, like Mike Johnson is really good at what he does.
Yep, he's good. Dan, who you like?
Former players.
Former player turned TV analyst.
I wish that they would give Ilya Bryzgalov a job because I think
why you have to be mid.
I think he would still be good. He did the NHL awards a couple years ago, and it was fucking phenomenal. It's on YouTube. I don't know. Like my bias just says Louis is good shit. I enjoy.
There's
Louis.
one that was fired from covering Oiler games because he might have been too negative towards the Oilers because they were terrible back then.
Drew Remenda?
No, we were terrible. I'll go back before that. Though.
We were terrible for Drew's tenure.
Ray Ferraro?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's really good. I was trying to think like more modern players, but Johnson and Ferraro were great.
Ray Ferraro rules. Kevin Bieksa, I hated him as a player. Really enjoy him as an analyst. Liam, what do you got?
Yeah, I guess I want to say on Ferraro when they switched over the World Juniors and it was Johnson, right, that did that. It was a pretty natural thing. It was very, very good. Honestly, I'm going to go in a direction. I think Paul Bissonnette, because I think his entertainment value has kind of changed what hockey needs to look like a little bit. So maybe he's not the most great analyst, but from his entertainment value, and his analyst isn't that bad. I think it's kind of allowed guys like Kevin Bieksa to come onto panels.
That's the unfair thing. We don't get to watch those guys.
Yeah, every now and then.
I think they do
right?
a really good job over there at TNT.
Yeah, it's very entertaining.
And who doesn't like Peter Mansbiz? Mansbriz or whatever. He shaves his head. I like it. Liam, I'm going to come back to you. What do you make of the handful of blowout games we've seen in round 2?
I don't really make a lot of it. I think the second round always gets a little bit looser. The first round last year, there was only one series that didn't go 6 games. It was when Colorado swept, I think it was Nashville. So kind of expected it a little bit. I guess a little bit closer. It has kind of been weird, especially in that Nashville, what was it? New Jersey, Carolina series. Like
ton of goals in that series.
I think it was the first series ever to have goalies pulled in 3 consecutive games. So yeah, kind of weird, but not unexpected, I guess.
Dan, what do you make of some of the blowouts?
Feels like this is kind of the way that the league trended during the regular season, and we're just seeing more offense in the playoffs now too. I like it. I'm all for it. I love seeing offense, and I don't know. I guess that, I don't know if there's like anything psychological behind it at all. Just to say that teams just get blowouts sometimes, and then it just keeps going. Like the Devils one was an absolute pile-on. So I don't know. Yeah, it just feels like that's the way the league is trending, and I'm okay with it.
I wonder if it's because in round 1, it's so easy to just keep riding the emotional high, right? Every shift, you're like, oh, I'm so dialed in. I love playing in the playoffs. You win a round, you get to round 2, and it's a bit easier to accept. Like, fuck, I don't have it tonight. I just don't have it tonight.
In that game.
Yeah, like, okay, we're down 3-0. Shit, I just don't got it.
I don't think the goaltenders are what they used to. I mean, and it's weird to say that, right? It's not, not trying to say anything about any goaltenders, but back when we were growing up, every team had a Hall of Fame goaltender. Felt like didn't matter who you're playing, the Cuchos, Broders, Chos, everybody was playing at that time. But I think there's a little bit of that also mixed in with you got rid of a lot of your non-skilled players. Right? You don't have
there are no Steve McIntyres on.
Yeah, right. We're replacing with guys with skill now. So I think there's more skill out there as well. And they're just taking advantage of their opportunities. Now, that doesn't really say why one team's getting blown out, because obviously they're, relatively the same amount of skilled players. But I just think in general, you're seeing a lot more offense right now just because of that.
I don't know what the answer is other than there's just a ton of skill on the ice and everybody can fire it. Everybody can make plays. And I like it. I love offense. More goals, please. More goals. I hope I don't steal Tyler's thunder here, but I'm hoping everyone can give one word to describe Derek Ryan. Tyler?
Diesel.
Rick?
Reliable.
Character.
Good man.
Consistent. Derek Ryan is sweet.
I thought we did Word Association on Tuesdays.
We do.
Oh.
This is an Ask the Idiot. It's a bonus edition.
Steal his thunder.
Association.
Oh, yeah.
Boys, this is a very important question. Everybody's going to have a take on this. What is the best playoff hangover remedy, and how are you surviving in round 2 so far?
I always have red Gatorade. It hits the spot. I don't know what
Which
it is.
Gatorade though?
Red.
No, that's fair. Got you there. But are you talking the original
G2s?
recipe?
Yeah.
G2.
Full fat Gatorade.
Hold on. Okay, there you go.
Gatorade heavy, we call it.
Whole Gatorade.
Yeah, whole Gatorade. And how you living in the second round so far, Liam?
I'm living great. Living the Vida Loca.
Thriving. Dan, best playoff hangover remedy and how you living in round 2?
It's been a while since I've had a hangover in the playoffs, and that's because I get a container of ice water ready before every night, have that set next to the bed, and then I got 2, not Tylenol, what's the other one? Advil. Yeah. Ready to go. And I take those before I go to bed and boom, wake up, no problem.
Rick, what do you got?
Those are definitely a big help there, but it's a 2-part question.
Yep.
Day you work, I get it. The day you work, make sure you do your water, your Advil, you're good. And then, I'm a guy who likes to get you got to get something in your system right away. You get some breakfast in there, get the egg McMuffins or whatever it is. Man, sometimes I'll go to Subway.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Eating fresh.
Days on the weekend, nice little Caesar, maybe get in there with beer and clam, a little hair of the dog.
Tyler?
Just eat something before you go to bed.
Like what?
Frozen veggies.
Pizza pops.
Or if you're rolling in from somewhere, stop at a McDonald's or something like that, right? Get a snack in you. And then just a big glass of water and keep another one. Keep one to drink and then a backup. Have your Jack Campbell of water bottles right behind it so that if you wake up in the middle of the night, you can just lean over, boom. Yeah, it's all about hydrating. That's the name of the game.
And how are you living in round 2?
Great. I have been hungover a lot.
Sounds like your plan's working.
You're fighting through the pain, though. That's what the playoffs are all about.
It's the playoffs. Everybody plays hurt.
It is wild how many hangovers I've had over the last 3 or 4 weeks. But you know what? Let me tell you. One, I think it's important. Night before, you got to get some water in you. Yeah. Maybe a coconut water if you're a fan. Lisa Evans, I know you're not. Yeah. Couple of Advils would probably do you nice. And in the morning, maybe just drop a little Bailey's in that coffee.
The other thing that's important too is you got to, and I think this is a Rick of Nation Vacation move, set the nightstand before you go out.
Oh, yeah.
So that, because you're going to want to get home and just go right to bed. Eliminate as many steps as possible for when you're drunk.
100%. And I would also say I am a big cold and flu tablet guy in the morning. Same symptoms. Don't abuse over-the-counter medications.
Little extra tip. Try and keep your room cold. Mm-hmm. Nothing worse than waking up and hungover and sweating because it's so damn hot in the place.
And you stink like booze. Nobody needs
nothing
that.
good comes from that. So drop the room temperature a couple degrees for sure.
There you go. If you have questions for Ask the Idiots, we are very, very smart men.
I got a little bonus to my answer.
Go ahead.
I thought about
a little chip booty, maybe.
One thing extra that I've thought of: banana Slurpees are at the door currently.
Yep, Slurpees. Wow. Kylie, the intern, rolling in with Slurpees. Wow, we've got plastic straws and Slurpees.
Please do not drop them.
I'm over in my car.
Uh-oh. Kylie is handing us Slurpees. This is excellent. We are big winners today. We are all winners today. Thank you, Kylie.
Anyone else keeping their plastic straw?
Liam said, bring me a real straw.
I don't blame you. Why do we get Slurpees?
Because I was listening to the radio and they were talking about banana Slurpees. And I missed where to get them, so I texted them and I said, where do I get these banana Slurpees? I need to know. And they told me Co-op, and I had to go to 2 different ones to find it.
Wow.
That's a lot of effort. Didn't answer why we got them.
The effort on a good day. I love that.
Sorry, because I found out that they existed.
Oh,
yes.
The effort on a game day. I like that.
Yep.
Effort on a game day. We're all hustling.
If the team puts it in this effort, we're laughing.
We are going to be A-OK.
All right.
I put my straw in upside down.
Is there really a right around?
Because they're bendy on one
part. Yeah, bendy straws. No scoopers on these, though.
Oh, yeah. Not a spoon straw.
Do you guys extend the straw?
Anyone have vodka?
I'm extending.
So, Tyler, how did you... Oh, the bendy part.
Right,
I put the bendy part in, too. My bad.
Our resident banana aficionado, Liam.
Now, that is banana.
That is banana.
That is banana for sure. What's it called? A
on
big
the nose.
cool.
It is. Wow. B-A-N-A-N-A-S, as they say.
Thank you, Kylie.
Thank you very much, Kylie.
Thanks.
What's that medicine that tastes like bananas?
Yeah, this tastes like my ear medicine from when I was a child.
Wait. My bonus.
It's like a little sour.
Yeah, bonus answer on a hangover cure from Liam.
So, I recently did this when I went to Denny's one night after a great night at the pub, at Oscar's pub. I ordered my food, and then I ordered it again, and I got the second dish to go. So then in the morning, I just rolled it to my fridge and I had the food ready.
Hold on.
What was that dish,
You went to Denny's. What did you order?
Chicken wings.
Okay.
I
was thinking
I was like, you had breakfast? And you just
no legs sitting there?
No, I'm not a psycho.
Because Rick is also a like pizza in the fridge guy.
Well, Well, yeah, that's always my
Clever.
move, and I'm going to do it this time. When you know you're going to have a big weekend, which this will be, just order a handful of large pizzas on Friday and
Handful.
and just keep it going.
It's fully, you got to be prepared, man.
Yeah.
A nice spicy pierogi from our friends at Boston Pizza, maybe?
Or we could get the pizza fly and I'll take one home each.
Mm-hmm.
Nice living.
We could.
For the record, I'm not so sure. I think they're 6-inch. I'm not sure that's going to be enough.
You'd
We're
be
going to need a
surprised,
handful
Rick.
of flights, I think.
You could also get the Triple Crown. Is that what it's called? What's the appetizer?
Oh, the triple play.
Triple play. Triple
Yeah,
Crown.
Now we're
What's that?
talking.
Now we're talking.
Slurpee's
horse?
refreshing.
Triple
Sorry,
It is
it's
refreshing.
big cool.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
refreshing.
My ear infection is going away.
But analytics say triple play much better.
Moxicil or something? I can't remember what it's called.
Before we get to hot and cold performers, boys,
Moxicillin.
I want to just quickly touch on some of the other series that are going on. Hurricanes, first team to move through to the Eastern Conference Finals last night. I almost feel like my revenge tour is starting to
start
come.
with this. I've been fighting this for, I feel like,
Job's not done, but the path could be laid.
yeah, I know.
Job's not done.
Congratulations, Yessa, on making the conference finals.
Yeah, you did so much. Eric Holla became the first player in NHL history. Eric Holla became the first player in NHL history to get eliminated by the same team in 3 straight postseasons while playing for 3 different teams every
Really?
year.
Wow.
Last year was Boston, right?
That's a wild
Yeah,
stat.
he's been with Boston, the Preds, and obviously now the Devils, and he's gotten bounced by the Canes every single year.
How could he be with the
with the
Predators and be
Preds.
bounced by the Canes?
Because it was the weird NHL Stanley or North Division.
Oh, yes.
Discover
Oh.
Central Division.
No cap now.
Yeah.
Take back my cap.
That's weird how, like, thinking back just how odd that season was now that we're back to normal.
And the fact that Hall is a part of it now because of it.
Yeah, Tyler and I
history
were
of that.
looking at the at how Vegas got Marchessault and Smith from the Florida Panthers, and Florida protected Big Jugs, Nick Bukestad,
As you do.
and also Alex Petrovic.
Yeah, they really
big.
they didn't want to let one of Alex Petrovic or Michael Matheson go.
Yeah,
And they loved Bukestad, just gave him that $4 million extension. So their deal with Vegas was, you let us keep Matheson and Petrovic, and we'll give you Marchessault and Riley Smith.
Okay.
Boy,
That
oh
expansion draft was a shit show.
Okay. Looking at the other series tonight, Panthers and Maple Leafs, they are back at Scotiabank Arena. Is it Scotiabank Arena?
Yeah.
Correct.
For game 5. What are you guys thinking about that? Because to me, as I'm looking at this, Florida's up 3-1 in the series. They are back in Toronto. All the pressure is back on Toronto. You can't drop a shit at home.
Yet
and
if
get
you asked
eliminated.
Toronto, they said all the pressure's on Florida.
Yeah, like I understand where they're coming from, but I agree. Like tonight, tons of pressure on you to not get bounced at home. Game 6 in Florida, that's where the pressure would shift to the Cats.
I'm just still waiting for the Leafs to sweep like I said they were going to.
Yeah, my Leafs in 5 didn't look good, didn't age so well.
I think I said Panthers in 7.
I did too.
It's just filler till the Oilers game gets here. I have no.
You don't care?
I'm putting it right out there. I don't care.
I don't
I'm
care
not
either.
watching really. I don't want to get hyped up or bummed out about anything.
Job's not done.
I'm fully focused on the 8:15, 8:20 game.
I'm going with a Panthers 4-3 overtime victory.
You're a jerk.
Yeah, but
That's going to push back our start time.
No, okay, fine. However, with the elimination of the Leaves, it would therefore bump up our start time in later games.
Well, yeah, I want to know what the Sunday one is.
It'll be 5 or 8, depending on when the Leafs play. Or I could see them doing the
6.
Leafs at 4 Mountain, 6 Eastern, and then doing the Oilers at 7 Mountain.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's always fun not to know when your games are.
Well, come on. You have to, there's ice availabilities and
Yep.
What
There's
if
a-
Trying to schedule a full staff to run a bar. Yeah, that's fun. Hey guys, what time do you work on Sunday?
Yep. There's a Cirque du Soleil, I believe, at Rogers Place. Need to clear that out
Really?
before the game. No, I'm making things up. Shania looked great though last weekend.
Shania's coming back. She's going for Garth's record.
The other series last night, the Dallas Stars won 5-2. They are now up 3-2 in the series. Whoop, whoop. Thoughts on that one?
I want the Kraken to win. That is all.
Why?
Shorter flight.
I think Dallas would be better weather.
I want to go to the fish throwing thing.
Yeah.
You know what? It comes down to a little soft spot for the former Oil there.
There's tons of them.
Yeah, but then there's again, we can't look too far ahead, but play the other team, and takes us back to another time when we were a couple years younger, maybe get some retribution that way.
Oh, you have to slay all of your dragons to win the cup.
This is ridiculous.
Dallas, Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm with it. I called this revenge tour before the playoffs even started.
I don't know if I want Connor McDavid around that goon Jordan Eberle after what he's been doing.
That is true.
Yeah.
We'll get him one of those neck guards they used to wear in the NFL back then. Mike Allstott had on.
Or maybe the Thomas, at the very least, the Thomas Plekanec turtleneck.
Mm-hmm. We got to help him one way or another.
Which series ends next? You guys think?
Leafs.
Think Leafs?
Yeah.
I'll say Kraken Stars ends next. I want Seattle to win, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, I'm saying the Stars move on tomorrow.
One thing is pretty amazing actually about Carolina moving on through New Jersey is they've got so many injuries up front. That is wild that they've scored as many goals as they have and how the defense has really stepped up.
Because what is it? Svechnikov and Teravainen and not even missing one other player?
Like last night, Slavin and Burns both scored. Faust had the OT winner, but wild.
Jordan Martinook has just stepped up. Boy, oh boy. What do you have, 10 points in the second round?
I need the Elliot Friedman update tweets.
Yes.
I haven't been paying that close attention.
One thing I didn't know before we move on to hot and cold, I'm assuming. So in the expansion draft, I just assumed they went like team by team and just said who they were going to pick. But it looks like Vegas did it in an order. First overall pick, Calvin Pickard.
Wow.
Yeah, never knew that.
A revenge game.
Yeah, the Calvin Pickard revenge store.
Who says no?
I do. I'll put my hand up for that one. Maybe next year. Maybe October is fine.
Skip over Campbell for Game 5 start.
Yeah, just Pickard, you're in. There you go. Liam wants Pickard. You heard it here first.
I want to know from our listeners if the slush sound is nice. They're enjoying that.
Do you also enjoy frozen ear medicine? Maybe some rum would be nice in there.
This is very good.
Coconut rum?
You are really polishing off that Slurpee in a hurry.
I just feel much cooler now. Even my fingers are a little cold and dab them on my forehead, cool off a little more.
You're just dabbing over here all over the place.
Boys, it's time to get the bright sides and negatives out of the way. Looking back on the last 7 days of our lives, we're starting off with our veggies with hot and cold performers. Who sponsors this, baby? Oh, before we get to this, how could I avoid our friends at Betway? Because I want to brag about what I did the other day. I don't normally go heavy on single goal scorers. But before a game on Wednesday, I was upstairs here at the office at the Suites drinking red wine, manifesting a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins goal. So when I got to my seats at Rogers Place, I just popped on over to Betway and I emptied the clip on what I had on a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins goal at plus 245. Thank you, Betway. You have a few less dollars in your pockets today because of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Thank you to Ryan as well.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, come through. I believed in him. I also, random thoughts, day before the game, I chastised him a little bit. I said, you know what? This has got to come from me. What did he do? He obviously read it and went out and scored.
Peer accountability.
Exactly.
Not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. So looking ahead tonight, real quickly before we get to hot and cold performers, Liam, what are you thinking on the old betting front for our friends at Betway, provided that you are 19 plus and can do so responsibly?
Yeah, I fill those categories, and I am going with an Edmonton Oilers mega money line win.
What does that mean?
It means they're going to win, and I'm going to bet mega on it, but very responsibly. Minus 130.
There you go. I have got a couple of things tonight. I've got over 6.5 total goals, and Leon Draisaitl will register 2+ points at a tasty little plus 125. I've also got Leon Draisaitl to register a goal and an assist at plus 175. Chasing the juice on that one a little bit. And then Oilers to have over 32 shots at minus 125. What do you got, Tyler?
I like that over 32 shots. I think they'll throw a lot of rubber the direction of Aiden Hill. I'm going Connor McDavid goal with a Connor McDavid assist. And I'm also doing Oilers money line dry 2+ points. I think they're both going to hit.
There you go. Anybody else have any bets for our friends at Betway?
I'd still throw in a little Bouchard shots.
You like that one?
I do like that one.
I hit on that one the other day.
You know, he's been all over it lately.
Absolutely. That goal he scored the other night just absolutely pumped it in.
Yeah,
love that heavy
they need
shot.
to do more of that and open up the pass to Leon more.
Would you say, I was thinking about it, Rick, this is the heaviest shot the Oilers have had on the power play since Surrey, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably.
Lubo. Yeah, Lubomir Vishnowsky.
Lubo. I thought you said Bobo. I was like, yeah, Bobo definitely had one, but he couldn't hit the net very well. Yeah, when it comes to accuracy, but it's twofold though, right? Because he has that bomb of a clapper, but he can sidestep you and still use one hell of a wrist shot as well. It's probably the best offensive weapon we've had. And I'm gonna go over just offensively. I'm gonna go over Pronger and say since Coffee.
Wow.
Any arguments? Dan, you're an old boy. Best bomb since Surrey on the point?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it's hard to say anybody that came after Surrey had a better shot than him.
The pickings are pretty slim.
Maybe Corey Potter, but
the Corey Potter power play.
But other than that, I would say that Surrey is it. But yeah, even
maybe
if you do go
Jason
back in our
Garrison, aka Jay Downton, when he was patrolling the blue line.
Yeah, he's up there. Yeah, for sure. He's probably in our top 10, to be honest, of shots. Like we haven't had that many hard shooting defensemen in our entire time. Like Yanni Pitkinen. Like maybe for a minute.
I don't know if he was like,
he wasn't even really that
massive clapper, but he was just kind of like your offensive guy at the time.
Yeah. Our glass cannon because he was made of glass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say sorry.
All right. Now we can get to hot cold performers. I got to get my buttons ready here. As we do every week, boys, we start off with our veggies. Tyler Yaremchuk, you are to my right. Starting off, your cold performer of the week.
This world has made a lot of strides technologically. You can have AI write you a legal document. Cars are driving themselves. Why we as a collective have taken such a step backwards when it comes to household printers is insane.
This is a Liam-esque cold performer, by the way. Please continue.
I have been living on my own for a number of years now.
Braggart.
I don't want to admit to the number of printers I've gone through.
Wait a minute. Why? How many is
They
it?
just stopped working. I get a new one yesterday and I'm like, you know what? Enough with the cheap shit. What was that? Is that a dog outside?
Yeah, I think it's a little
Okay,
one.
that scared the hell out of me. Anyways, I go buy a nice new printer. I'm like, this is going to be painful and easy. Nope, you got to try connect it to the Wi-Fi. And then once you connect it to the Wi-Fi, you're like, okay, then it'll work. No, you got to download the software from their website and punch in the exact model number. And then even that doesn't work and it takes forever. I sat there for over 30 minutes yesterday and I couldn't get the fucking printer to recognize on my computer. And I just want to plug in a damn cable into my computer and have it print. But no, they don't ship it with the cable because they want you to download the software. It's a fucking mess. Figure out your printers.
Why didn't you just go to the store?
You could have bought
And do what?
Buy a cable?
I don't know. I ordered one off Amazon. It'll be here today. So problem almost solved. But still, it's ridiculous.
Can you tell us how many printers you've had? Because I've had one printer in the last 15 years.
So I confess to this. I think the issue.
Get angry and hit it?
No, the first couple of times I think the ink just dried up and I was exclusively buying them from Costco. So I just kept going back and getting the same printer again and getting new ink when you would return.
What?
So you work the return system at Costco is pretty.
I worked the return system at Costco, but I actually thought the printer was broken. Then I realized after I did it a couple times, the ink's just drying up. And this last time it would go, but just fuck up the printing every time. So I said enough with the Costco ones. And I went and bought a good one from a different store. And that one's giving me problems. Now I can't game the return system thing anymore. So I'm stuck with this one. And I'm not happy.
That's why I don't have a printer.
Follow-up
Less
question.
stress, right?
So I think it's 4 to answer.
How much stuff are you printing these days?
Well, not that much.
He's got a lot of banners to his friends' parties.
As a matter of fact, he's printing nothing right now.
It is your birthday.
Another reference.
All right. Printers. Thought we've mastered it, but we have not.
I really thought that was going a different way, I'll be honest.
Yep. All right, Rick, your cold performer of the week.
Well,
why'd you look at me? I'm a technologically... I know how it works. I'm good at technology.
Finding words is good.
Sorry.
And you also work at a tech company.
I know. Sorry, Rick. Go ahead. I'm pissed off.
You couldn't just call somebody that's Big Mike A. You couldn't just call
He's on
Mike
a hair
Mike
trigger
A.
right now, Rick. You're picking a fight with a hair trigger.
Mike A, I could just see him like dead ass in the phone. He goes, "Have you checked the printer ink?"
Give your cold performer of the week.
Well, then I'll give it to the DoPS then, because that's everything from the other game was just bullshit.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
Nation Dan, you got a printer issue or anything you want to sort out here?
Crazy enough, I don't have any printer issues. LaserJet is the way that I solve my ink issues.
Is that the one Shaq owns?
That's the one that doesn't use ink at all. It uses a laser.
Seems very expensive.
No, it's not as crazy as you think. But anyways, my cold performer of the week is Darnell Nurse for taking that fight.
Oh, that's cold.
I got to change pages here, Liam. All right, there you go. Your cold performer of the week.
My cold performer of the week goes to Princeton University for allowing any old idiot to go to that school and graduate nowadays.
What the hell is going on?
Gross.
Every Princeton grad that listens to this, which there's like 2, is really upset right now.
Wait a minute.
Hold on. Did Liam just call me out?
I'm a Nate grad, by the way. Just as good as Princeton.
Ooks wouldn't allow that shit.
Nate versus Princeton is a classic rivalry that I love.
There is more Nate grads in this room that figured out what needed to be done than the Princeton grad. That's all I'm going to say.
Wow.
I mean, you can't argue that.
No, that is logic, people.
And Shirelli went to Harvard.
Yeah, so
Harvard State, though. Shit.
Taking shots at me.
I was going to say the NHL Department of Player Safety, obviously.
Go with Dallas Aikens.
I'm going to go with Dallas Aikens because, first of all, one, you've worn the same suit every single game. There's got to be a tip-top tailors around there somewhere where you can get something off the rack. Maybe a Sears.
He hand washes them in the same bucket of water he's hand washed all of his suits in.
Anyway, his takes have been awful. He is not a great analyst, arguably one of the worst coaches in NHL history.
That's a joke. That's an absolute joke is what it is.
And one of the 6 players in NHL history to go more than 100 regular season games, have their career end and never score.
He never got one goal?
But 120 games and never scored.
That's some mean analytics right there.
Wow, you pulled out. You had that one ready to go.
What? How many players? Back pocket
6
for a while.
I think there's 6 in NHL
in
history.
the 120 something year history of the NHL.
Yeah,
He's
I
one
looked
of
at
6.
I was looking at players who played at least 100 regular season games, ended their careers and never scored a goal. And first is 155. Someone played 155, and Aikens is tied for second at 120.
Would anybody like to guess how many career points he had?
12.
I can see the screen, so
Rick?
I can't guess it.
7.
Say 4?
9. You may be thinking, was Dallas Eakins a goon? No. Career high in penalty minutes, 38. When he also had a career high in points in
You may be
2.
thinking he was a goon. No, just ineffective.
He's literally a non-event.
Yeah.
He is a man who existed for 100 and whatever you said games.
He literally... So from junior to the end of his career, he only hit double digits once in goals when he had 11 in 64 games with the Peterborough Petes. Apparently he was a goon, 129 penalty minutes. Crazy.
Or if that Peterborough Pete had a player named Peter on it.
Maybe.
I can sham that.
Where are we at right now? Where are we at?
It's me, I think.
Dog patch.
Hot performers of the week. Let's flip it around and end off the podcast on a bright side. I will go first. I'm going to give a little shout out to Kylie for bringing in some Slurpees. I didn't expect a Slurpee today, and I'm quite happy about it.
I can't believe it!
Literally, Jack.
I finished mine.
Liam, your hot performer of the week.
My hot performer of the week goes to Stuart Skinner, not for his on-ice performance, but for the fact that he misread the group text message and only took one suit on the Vegas LA trip. I just hope he had more than one pair of underwear.
Did he actually? Is that a thing?
Yeah, they said it on the broadcast. He misread the text.
What he said, he's going to make sure he looks into it. He reads his communications a little bit better.
Yeah, so he just took one suit to Vegas and wore it for Game 6 in LA. Whatever that was. And then games 1 and 2 against Vegas.
Dallas Eakins is like, what's the problem with that?
I like how Stuart, like, he's smart though. Didn't even go buy another one though.
No, didn't care.
Doesn't need to.
No.
You wear it for like a grand total of 40 seconds.
Just walk down that one wave so you get your picture taken.
Yeah.
Change on the bus.
That's fine. You go down there, get a couple of fresh tees. New look every time. Come on. Nation Dan, you're our hot performer of the week.
Well, it's round 2, and Oiler fans, we have had 0 cases of people having their fingers bitten off. So I'm going to give it to Oiler fans, and we've got a big weekend ahead of us. Not biting fingers off. Yeah, let's go, Oiler fans!
He's a hot guy.
Let's not count our chickens yet.
That was an elimination game too, right?
Yeah.
So hold on a second here. Maybe that's they're just waiting.
He was just eliminating digits.
There's a guy out there right now because I really want to fucking bite one.
Maybe the same guy. They haven't found him yet.
How is that a thing too? Like, we got to get somebody on the senior. There's a biter out there.
I've seen CSI. They can look at teeth.
Rick, you're hot performer of the week.
Well, if you didn't do it, I'll give it to Nuggy for getting the old monkey off his back.
It's getting hot in here.
Classic Nuge snipe too. Tyler, finish it off.
I was hard on this move when they made it. I didn't think it was going to be an impactful trade at all, but Nick Bukestad, our boy, tall Derek Ryan, he is impactful. He gets my hot performer.
This is why I'm hot. I'm hot because I'm fly. You ain't because you not.
I like seeing him last game though, because people are getting down on him after the previous game.
But he was just playing quietly effective.
He was playing out of his weight class a little bit there. Sure. They asked him to go to the second line. Not really where he's best. Drop him down a little bit. Bang, gets a goal.
I thought the Oilers' depth players were excellent in Game 4.
Oh yeah,
the fourth line, whatever you want to call it, they were really, really good.
I'm very anxious.
Really good. Another honorable. I wish I could remember who tried to hit Cleem Costin, but Cleem just ran him right over.
Oh, it was White Cloud.
Yeah,
absolutely dummied him. He's a truck. I love it. Honorary hot performer to you. I'll do.
Put some respect on my name.
I tried. For our friends at Oodle Noodle, Betway, AMA Travel, and Boston Pizza, I say thank you for being here. If you want to join us for a viewing party, those are away games, Dan. To do it, book a table at gretabar.com/book. Get yourself a rezo. It will fill up. I promise you. We will be there down there tonight. Looking forward to hanging out with the squad and watching a big Oilers win in Game 5. So we got to wrap it up with a score prediction, Tyler.
4-3 in overtime, double OT.
Double OT?
Yep.
Can you stay up that late?
No, I'll watch it in the morning.
Rick, score prediction.
5-2 Edmonton. Let's roll.
Nation Dan.
5-1 Edmonton. Let's roll.
4-1 Edmonton.
We got a 4-2 win coming in. Sprinkle a couple of shekels on that. It's coming. There you go. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Goodbye.